Hello again, everyone. I'm Dr. George Simon, and welcome to another edition of the new Character Matters program. This is the program where we talk about what I consider to be the defining issue of our time, the character crisis that we've faced for some time now, and that affects every aspect of our lives and brings unnecessary pain into the lives of so many of us. Life is hard enough, full of hardships. It's the nature of human existence on this planet. But we need not make it more difficult than it inherently has to be. And part of the reason why so many of us struggle is that we have forgotten some of the essentials that I write about in my new book, Essentials for the Journey. Time-tested principles that we must not only learn, but take to heart, to fully embrace along the way, to experience life in the fullest, and to find true inner peace and happiness. Now, right off the bat, I'd like to address something that I mentioned last time, and that I'd like to say a little something about because I noticed that there were some comments about it that struck people as kind of odd. I referred to folks who inadvertently put their time and energy, direct their attention in self-defeating ways, experience the consequences, in many ways, the rightful consequences of a certain kind of naivety. Now, those who know me and my work know that I'm a stickler for accuracy in terms. And unfortunately, that word has developed kind of a negative character to it. When in fact, we are all, to a certain degree, as we're growing and learning, naive about certain things. And perhaps one of the more subtle, but nonetheless damaging, uninformed perspective we can have about life is where we look for the things that we need to be well, to be whole, and to be fulfilled. It's not only where we look so much of the time, but what we look for also, that we think in our misguided ways will do for us what our souls deeply yearn for. Now, we live in a culture, and we have for decades now, so steeped in egocentrism, entitlement, narrow-mindedness, materialism, sensationalism, hedonism, so steeped in so many negative character-shaping elements that we look for love not only in all the wrong places, but in all the wrong ways. And I am not for a minute discounting the fact that there are nefarious characters out there who are very skilled in creating positive impressions that hoodwink and deceive you. As a matter of fact, I've written extensively in multiple languages about that very phenomenon. So I'm not discounting that. But in our day and time, it's more imperative than ever that we know what to look for and early on, not only in others, but in ourselves, for those important things that let us know that the values are present that can help us truly grow in the love of ourselves and in the genuine love of others. I've spent many, many years counseling individuals who tell me what they were looking for and what they found in someone else that suggested to them that they would find what their souls were yearning for. But here is the scourge of our time. We don't have enough in our formative backgrounds that adequately prepares us for what really to look for, and especially where to look. It's hard enough to discern in this deceitful, manipulative age. But unless we know ourselves well, our shortcomings, our insecurities, our blind spots, unless we know ourselves well and have learned how to properly love ourselves well, we will inevitably seek out what we think will please us, will satisfy us, will nurture us, will make us happy, only to sometimes be horribly disappointed and find ourselves feeling betrayed and empty. And that's especially true if we hook up with characters who are not as they first appear, who are way too good at the art of positive impression management, who know how to look good, but don't even have the intention to be good, and you only learn it when it's too late. The problem starts with where we look in the first place and what we look for. We are trained by our culture, and it's heavily promoted and reinforced, to look toward people, places, and things to do for us what we can only properly do for ourselves. We come to our relationships with unmet needs that we come to believe many times, and I'll use the word again, quite naively, that someone else can do for us based upon what we see in them that we find attractive, that we're drawn to. We don't demand out of love for ourselves and pure positive regard for our worth. We don't demand that someone demonstrate clearly, prove their character sufficiently to merit our involvement. And then we pay when we discover, and then we want the whole world to know. It's the scourge of our time. We have forgotten how much character matters, including our own, which is why ultimately the greatest joy in your life will be your own personal transformation. And that's the second big reason that I wrote Essentials for the Journey. We can all grow in self-awareness and in self-love. And there's method to it. There are principles to it. There is a way. Mastering and taking to heart certain key lessons that are inherently freeing and empowering, bringing you life instead of just momentary satisfaction. Coming to appreciate that the answer doesn't lie anywhere out there, but within you. And I'll have more to say about that on the next edition of the New Character Matters. And I'll also have an announcement finally about a live stream edition where we can have a live conversation. So until next time, thanks for tuning in. Please visit my blog at drgeorgesimon.com for the hundreds of articles available there for you. And if you have a mind to, avail yourself of my books, and I surely do appreciate the word of mouth recommendation. And I sincerely ask that you consider my latest work, which I poured my heart into, and my life's experience. Essentials for the Journey, Embracing and Living the 10 Commandments of Character, those proven principles for a psychologically healthy and spiritually rich life. Thanks for tuning in once again. Until next time, I'm Dr. George Simon. Take care.